Good afternoon, Lisa.
Good afternoon, Andrew.
It's just gone 5:15
Yes, well,
on the 23rd of November,
it's nearly 5:20, but yeah.
2018.
Yes.
And Doctor Who is 55
Yes.
years and a few minutes old.
Old, yes. So happy birthday, Doctor Who.
Yes. So we're not watching An Unearthly Child, are we?
No,
Because we've already done a video about that.
We have, not long ago.
So instead we did...
More than 30 years in the TARDIS.
Yes.
It is more than 30 years in the TARDIS.
Well, it's still true then.
It is.
Now, this is the documentary from... Well, it was originally transmitted in 1993, but then there's a subsequent extended version
that was put out on video.
done on video.
With the bit with John Pertwee and Anne and Nick.
Yes.
And who
Well, there's
created the
loads of
Daleks.
extra bits,
Yeah.
but it's so long and I've written so many notes, we can't really afford to go through it in huge detail, so
No.
we'll just skim through it
Yes.
and say it's well worth watching,
Yes.
don't we? But we start off with Troughton saying, come on kids, get the recording going.
Yes, for Pebble
Little One.
Mine,
Presumably that's to his kids who are ready with a... I don't know, are they ready with a tape recorder?
Yeah,
Bit
don't know.
early for a video recorder.
It's a little bit.
But you never know. Might be worth asking
Might be.
whether anyone can remember. John Pertwee says it's always good to stay on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting here
Yes.
is that you watch this documentary from 1993 and see how much of it links up with the 2005 series
Yes.
of
Yes.
Russell T, and whether he did take any
Yeah.
influence from things that were said here.
Because obviously the whole of the first series of New Doctor Who was
Yeah.
on Earth. There
Yeah.
was, well, apart from the long game,
Yeah.
that was on a satellite.
But even that was around the Earth.
Yes,
Yeah, so it's all within
within the Earth.
Earth. But yeah, there's the old stuff about Yetis on loos in Tooting
And
Bear.
Tooting back, yeah.
There's a voiceover from Toyah.
Mm-hmm.
There's the kid, and I forgot to look up who the kid
Josh
was.
Maguire.
All right, thank you. Who's running around playing.
Mm-hmm.
There's some Autons coming out
Yes.
the window, one of which I believe is Gary Russell.
I believe so. I would think it's the male Auton rather
Yeah.
than the female Auton.
But I love the fact that they do this, and then the Autons turn up in rows. You know,
Yes.
so
And you get a window smashing effect.
yes,
Which you
before
don't obviously get in
yeah.
Spithead from
yeah,
space.
but yeah, so you actually get a window smashing effect before Rose did
Yes.
it. Yeah.
So, yeah, it might well have influenced.
Londoners flee.
Yes.
There's Tom and Colin doing voiceovers, but Tom's taken from Who's Doctor Who,
Yes.
but nothing from Peter. I know.
No,
the
I think-
Davison era is very much skimmed over.
I
Isn't
think
it?
the reason you don't get much from Peter Davison is because he'd done the Doctor's DVD or Doctor's documentary on video for somebody else.
Right, but there's a very good score from Mark Ayres,
Yes.
isn't there?
Yes. I mean, a lot of it reusing music that he's already
Yeah.
composed.
But then you've got the thing where the pillar box turns into the TARDIS.
Yes,
It's all about the
Dalek.
kid into the Dalek. It's all about the kid's imagination,
Yes.
isn't it? You
Yeah.
know, playing at Doctor Who. You get a lovely title sequence
Mhm.
with all the Doctors. Because this is, we should say, this is Kevin Davies doing this. Kevin, of course, sort of known for his sort of association with Hitchhiker's Guide
Yes,
to the Galaxy and the
Hitchhiker's Guide,
animation
yes.
and stuff.
Yes.
But he's also done the Hitchhiker's documentary
Mhm.
at this point. So this was sort of, you know, around the
It's
same
quite
period.
similar
isn't
to it in
Yeah.
some ways, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
But
Story.
most of the voiceover work though is Nick Courtney.
Yes.
He's
the
got a
narrator.
very good voice for
He
that.
has.
hasn't
He's got a lovely voice to listen to.
And it's split into 3 parts.
Yes. So you get a little cliffhanger between each part.
With little adverts in between.
Yes.
I noticed they've got a copy of the Radio Times from An Unearthly Child. You know, years ago I wouldn't have been interested, but I'd love to see what it says about Beyond Our Ken on
Yeah,
there now, because
yeah.
of course Kenneth Horne's on
He's
the radio.
on the cover, yes.
It's very noticeable how Unearthly Child got much better picture quality than it used to have in Who's Doctor Who.
Yes. It's
But-
got a better picture quality, and then obviously again it's.
But
Spruce
this is the period where, you know, what would become the restoration team start to
starting
get
to work on
involved.
things,
So
yeah.
if you notice, Paul Vanezis and Steve Roberts
Mm-hmm.
have got their names on the end credits, and
Mhm.
sort of they're involved with sort of
Yes.
sourcing the clips a bit, aren't
Yes.
they? But yeah, you've got Barry Letts,
Mhm.
Terence Dix saying
Mm.
the Doctor is never cruel.
Yes.
Well, that's quoted in
in Day of the Doctor.
Day of the Doctor.
Never cruel.
yeah.
Always be
And-
kind.
And you have got a very good range of clips.
You have,
Here.
you have.
It's not just the old bog standard ones nicked from Who's Doctor Who.
Mhm.
But although they do look a lot cleaner than perhaps you used to, this is still pre-Vidfire,
Yes.
so everything black and
Yeah.
white still looks like
It
film.
looks a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. But there's Colin sat outside St Paul's Cathedral with his brown coat on,
sheepskin coat on,
with his big lapels.
Yes.
But,
those stairs don't exist anymore.
Well, I was going to say about that, because you've got the Cybermen walking down them later. You've got Verity Lambert at Westminster Bridge. There's a thing about the Doctor's got 12 regenerations, and after that it really is the end.
Yeah. Until you get to the point and have to work out how to get past that.
Until it isn't.
Yes.
So yeah, never believe anything that's written down in Doctor Who. I hate to use the word canon, but there you go. You got Jessica Carney, who's working on a biography for William Hartnell.
Yes.
Footage from RAF Finningley Air Show, with some dreadful Daleks and a really fat TARDIS.
Yes, a very fat TARDIS.
But you can see how Hartnell's loving.
Yes,
he's on the back of the Land Rover, isn't he? Waving at all the kids.
Because there's a little bit later on, she's got some photos, doesn't she? And there's one of him sitting there, and he's not in the costume this time. He's just dressed normally. And he's talking to a child, and you look on his face, you can just see he's really enjoying it.
There's some newspaper cuttings from this sort of stuff.
Yes.
And my eyes keep getting, not to the Doctor Who headline, but Sweet Peas Praised by Judge. I just want to read that bit. I want to know what he said about the sweet peas.
He said they were nice.
Yeah, but you've got Caroline Ford, and then you talk about the sort of regeneration into Troughton. Toya, she's sat behind the sofa, and there's Tomb of the Cybermen going down.
Yeah, is she behind the sofa or behind a chair?
No, it is the sofa, because that's what the kid hides behind. And she's saying about, she was upset when Doctor Who changed, but after a couple of weeks she'd forgotten about the old one.
Yes. And the kid's a pickle.
There's more from Troughton on Pebble Mill at 1. And I've just put, he's got a chin beard.
He has got
Do you know what I mean?
Beard. Yeah, he's got one of those, just a little, there's nothing here, it's just here.
Goatee, is that the word?
No, because a goatee is all the way around. It's like, I don't know what you call them.
All right.
It's a chin beard.
It's a chin beard. Clips from the Web of Fear Part 1.
Yeah.
In those days, that's all there was on the Web of Fear.
Yeah.
Fraser and Debs, showing how well they get on.
Oh, yeah, because he's not being too naughty.
Yeah.
Because Fraser Hines has the tendency... hello, Fraser, if you're watching this, you're probably not.
He's not.
He's very naughty, he's a bit cheeky, and she just nudges
slaps him down a bit.
Stop it, Fraser.
Lusting after you. That was
Yes.
it. Tom is taken from Who's Doctor Who, saying that John Pertwee glitters
Like a light bulb.
like a light bulb. Then you got Larry Turner. Was she something to do with the clothes?
Yeah,
isn't
she was a fashion journalist, and then she went on to do lots of things for television.
Saying the only people that could get away with
A velvet jacket and a frilly shirt.
was John Pertwee and Jimi Hendrix.
Hendrix, yeah.
Do you reckon Jimi Hendrix could have played Doctor Who?
No.
Alright. Okay. And I love that line about where does Doctor Who get his clothes from?
Somewhere in space.
Well, everywhere's in space.
Yes.
Or does he go to some sort of clothes shop that just travels through space?
He goes to a space boutique.
Okay. Man at space.
Mr. Fish, wasn't it?
Mr. Fish. And apparently John Pertwee is so damn sexy.
Yeah.
And I understand that John Pertwee approved of that
I'm
sentiment.
sure John Pertwee approved that sentiment highly.
Because I think there was a showing of it at the, sort of somewhere, and John was in the audience, and he sort of said something like, "Well done, madam," or something like that. He's really pleased about that. But you've got Eric Sayward in his leather jacket.
Yes.
This is the thing. Everybody looks so young.
They
as
do
well.
look so young. When it is 30 odd years ago.
Yeah, but Eric's got dark hair at this
20
point.
odd years ago, sorry. Yeah, 20 odd years ago.
It's 1993.
Yeah, so
it's 25 years ago.
Yeah.
But
Oh, it's 20 odd.
yeah, that's true. There's some film trims from Colony in Space with the sort of primitive having a fight. Then you got Pertwee in the Whomobile at the South Bank.
Yes.
Which is of course Frontier in Space.
Yes.
And you filmed there, haven't you?
I have
so
filmed there,
you know that.
Yeah.
We've got Blue Peter with Peter Purvis and the Whomobile.
Yes.
And
with all the bits where John's just can't be bothered taken out.
yeah, talk about the Doctor's gimmicks like the jelly babies and the sonic screwdriver. Clip from Fury from the Deep with the sonic.
An audio clip.
Pointing out that Fury from the Deep and many other episodes are missing.
Yes.
Ian Levine talks about saving the first Dalek story. There are 110 missing episodes of Doctor Who. Good God.
Well, there were then.
Yeah. Carol Ann Ford is sat on a bench and then two wonky Daleks turn up.
Yes.
And she sort of walks away
She
from
just
them.
walks. She
sort of saunters.
Yeah, there's no urgency about it at all.
Then they get to the stairs.
Yeah.
And
And quite frankly, I mean, obviously we would do this, but they could have just chopped her at any point anyway. Because she's just not hurrying, is she?
But yeah, you've got the shot of the Daleks going over the bridge at Westminster. None of them quite match. They're all very mismatched Daleks because they're all fan ones.
They've all come from different people.
And I think Mark Gatiss is in one side, inside one of them.
Isn't
and of
he a
course,
bit tall for a Dalek?
Well, yeah, I don't know, but he tried his best. And of course, he's lent himself to recreate that scene in Adventure in Time and Space.
Mm-hmm.
Sidney Newman was furious about bug-eyed monsters.
Mm-hmm.
There's some discussion about who created the Daleks.
Yes.
And then there's the clip from Good Morning with Anne and Nick.
Yes.
And John Pertwee is sort of being a bit awkward.
Yeah, because they said the competition was who created the Daleks.
And their answer was Terry Nation.
Terry Nation. And he said, excuse me, are you sure? Because he said it was Ray Cusick. Well, Ray Cusick designed them, but he didn't create them. And I love the way they've got a mini TARDIS with all the answers in. And then he keeps getting like Davros. No.
Didn't they screen? This is meant to be the right answers.
I know. It's
so didn't they just screen
nobody's
these?
Gone through it to see if that's actually the right. It's just a box of answers.
It's not even gone through. Dreadful. You've got Wicker's World.
Mm-hmm.
How did a Dalek come to be a heavy?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a really weird question. Was it on Anne and Nick? Well, we're delighted you came to see us, John.
Yes. Slightly sarcastic remark there from Nick Owen.
You've got Chuckles Cusick wearing his Blue Peter badge.
Chuckles Cusick.
There's a lot of Blue Peter stuff in this,
actually. There is a lot of Blue Peter stuff.
And it is Spot the Blue Peter badge, because Sophie, of course, has got hers on later on. It's the third one that says Davros. There's some young boy who's apparently claiming to be Ben Aranovich.
Yeah, bless him.
You just got his new book, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah. What's his new book called?
Lies Sleeping.
All right. Okay.
The Seventh Wizard of London.
Wizard
Rivers of London Wizard book.
Yeah.
Got there in the end. Sorry, Ben.
Toya talks about a Dalek suit, which was red PVC.
She used to smell it.
And she liked smelling it. Yeah. And it had a knob on the end.
Mm.
She keeps saying knobs a lot.
She does. She likes saying knobs.
Yeah. Bad as Annika Reisner, Dorset knobs. Then you've got Jessica Carney's Dalek suit, which is actually blue.
Yes. Yes.
What colour is it in Adventure in Time and Space?
Red, I think.
I think it is red, isn't it?
But then her brother got one as well. So perhaps they had a blue one and a red one.
Well, Toya says hers was red. So
they might have. It would make sense if you're sending two out to send one of each colour.
Yeah.
So.
Because this is where the factory burnt down.
It was. Yeah.
You've got the TV 21 comics.
Yes.
Some studio footage from Death to the Daleks.
Mm-hmm.
Some reconstructions of the Dalek movies. Yeah, with some like Robo Men stamping up and down, and Roberta Tovey comes out of the TARDIS.
Yes.
And you got the trailers, and I guess they were not very well seen at that point. You know.
Well, I don't know.
Doctor Who, the brilliant science professor.
They were shown quite a lot.
Yeah. That bit where Cribbins falls out of the door and he just sounds like Orinoco. Ah!
You like that bit?
I like that bit. You got Jenny Linden.
Yes.
So close you can feel their fire.
Mm-hmm.
Is it too frightening for the kiddos?
Yes.
And they shot foam. No, they didn't, dear. They didn't shoot foam.
They shot like dry ice.
Yeah. Well, I like the way the other one says they shot fire extinguishers. Well, they didn't shoot fire. A load of fire extinguishers didn't come out at the end. Then you've got a cliffhanger with Pertwee and a dinosaur, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a very good dinosaur.
It's a pretty good
considering
dinosaur.
It's a documentary.
Yeah, it's a pretty good dinosaur.
They spent some money on the dinosaur.
T-Rex, I think, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Because obviously the Tyrannosaurus Rex at the end of.
And you've got some adverts for the Skyray ice lollies.
Yes.
With a free picture card.
Free picture card.
And what does the kid go when he pulls out his card?
Yeah.
Only sixpence. And then Prime Computers with Tom and Lala.
Yes.
And apparently Doctor Who's scarf is 7.013 metres long. I wrote it down.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you get the alternative. Then we're into part 2, which is about monsters and companions. You've got the alternative Pertwee title sequence with all the slightly different bits of.
All right. Yeah.
And again, that was, at the time, I think that was sort of not very well known, but of course we sort of know it backwards these days.
Mm-hmm.
Where do monsters come from is the question in fairy tales and things
Yes.
like that. And Bernard Wilkie's on Pebble Mill
Mm-hmm.
with like sea devils and
A
what have you.
Cyberman and
a really rubbish Cyberman.
a rubbish Cyberman, a Draconian, and some
A mutant,
Spiridonians.
yeah. And I just wrote down that didn't work.
No, because he's supposed to smash a pane of glass, and all he does is just walk over it.
If you notice, there's 2 bricks
Yeah,
holding it down,
yeah.
and he must have sort of knocked it over, but the bricks weren't heavy enough or something. So, yeah, obviously they didn't rehearse that.
No.
But Toria now insists that Cybermen are sexy. So
Yes.
John Pertwee and Cybermen are both sexy. That's official.
That's 2 different women thinking out there.
I know. Are Cybermen sexy?
Not really.
Okay. But Stephen Bailey, the design consultant
Yes.
that you've never heard of,
Yes.
says about early Cybermen were dressed up out of a kitchen drawer.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got some OB stuff at St Paul's with some Cybermen. Some shots of the Drashigs from Carnival of Monsters, and again this was like the studio footage that had been, I guess, fairly recently, not really like discovered because it's always existed, but just nobody knew about it.
No.
I think.
No.
And what is the colour for monsters?
Green.
The colour for monsters is.
Green.
Thank you.
Green.
Um,
Or green.
and you've got a shot of the clip of the Silurians, and of course, since Who's Doctor Who, a lot of Pertwee stuff has now been recoloured.
Yes.
So in Who's Doctor Who, Silurians was in black and white.
Yeah.
Now it's in colour.
Barely.
Yeah, just about.
Just about. Right.
Some Draconians and Ogrons sort of outside the Hayward Gallery. That's that. That's that staircase that
Spiral
you
staircase, yeah.
you filmed on. Pertwee likes the Draconians because you can see their eyes and their mouth.
By the way, if you can hear rattling,
Yeah.
it's Rose. She's got a paper bag and she's playing with it.
Yeah.
So that's the noise you can
But
hear.
Pertwee is of the opinion that a mouth is much better than a slit. Okay. Mike Gatting comes on. Yes, he used to watch Doctor Who. Jerry Anderson and Jamie, his son,
yeah.
who is a.
Massive Doctor Who fan.
He's not that massive, but yeah, Jerry Anderson lamenting the fact that he's made all these kids shows.
And his kid couldn't care less.
And Jamie prefers Doctor Who. And Liz Sladen and Sophie.
Sadie.
Sophie. Sorry, Sadie. Liz
Sadie.
Sladen and Sadie. In a like mini
Minnie's
Hand of Fear outfit.
and the
an
owl. Yeah.
And it's a smaller owl.
It
isn't
is a smaller. Oh, she's a smaller person.
Yeah. But yeah, dear old Sadie.
Oh, young Sadie.
Well, young Sadie. But yeah, the Andersons are going to have to move house to make room for Jamie's Doctor Who
Jamie's Doctor Who
I can identify with that.
Yes,
yeah.
most definitely.
But yeah, Liz says about how all the videos are coming out, and there's a new audience
It's
of
a
kids
resurgence. Yeah.
for it, you know.
Yeah.
And Doctor Who is the hero. Sadie's sort of going up some steps.
Yeah, they're going to this house and there's a Sontaran inside it.
Yeah, and Liz gets sort of kidnapped.
Yes.
Or Liz napped, I suppose.
Liz-
Then you've got the Blue Peter Designer Monster Competition with the
Yes.
Steel Octopus,
Yes.
the Aquaman, and the
Yeah.
Hypnotron.
Hypnotron, yeah.
He might not be able to smile, but by gum he can wink,
Yeah.
says Noakes.
Good old Noxie.
Terror the Autons doll, now in colour also.
Mhm.
Mike Gatting's talking about Yetis on the underground, and how they scared him.
Yes. And then he says about
Going up to the guards.
going up to the guards train. So obviously he's just talking about going on trains in general. Well, maybe the fact that they were. It didn't quite work. 'Cause
I don't know.
There were no
Well,
trains in.
How did the underground work in 1968? I don't know.
Well, there wasn't a guards train. I would have thought. A guards train would only be
I don't know.
a train.
Please don't make policemen frightening.
Yes.
To Barry Letts.
Yes.
War Machines on Blue Peter, absolutely fantastic. Very meano.
Yes. The problem is that it's. I don't know if it's Christopher Trace
Yeah.
coming in too early,
Yeah.
or the War Machine and the noise not getting there quickly enough.
All right.
Because he's doing, oh, what's that noise? And there is no noise. It's after he says, what's that noise, the noise starts. So somebody's out of sync.
All right. Okay. But Colin and Nicola are going down the steps at St Paul's with some
Followed by a
Cybermen.
Cyberman, which is really hard because
Have you tried going
I
down
had
there?
tried going down the stairs. I didn't have to be a Cyberman, but I think
Well,
some of
you
our
get-
friends were.
So who was there then? It was
Nick, Paul, I think, and Andrew Candish.
Yeah.
Possibly
So what were you filming this for?
This was for a friend of ours, Russell, who used to do little filming bits at Doctor Who locations.
Right.
And we wanted the Cyberman coming down. I don't think I actually even. I think I came down before. But I could look, but they couldn't look.
If you're in the Cyberman suit, you're going to go ass over tear.
So yeah, because it's. I mean, as I say, those stairs don't exist anymore. It's where the bridge is now. But
there's some talk about what the role of the companion is.
Yes.
You know, to explain things.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, there have been 28 companions so far.
So how many? Gosh, that means we've got at least another 10 on top of that now.
I don't want to do the sums. Then some shooting at the National Army Museum.
Yes.
Have you
I've
ever
been there, yeah.
I've never been there, but no, don't think I have.
I thought I went with you.
I don't remember.
I went with somebody. Maybe it was Nick.
I think it was Nick.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the Brig's got his poppy on.
It was popular, so they obviously filmed these bits.
Given that this was broadcast in November '93, it's shot fairly close to transmission, isn't it? But yeah, Demons Part 5 is now in colour.
Mm-hmm.
Marquez does his sort of unit theme montage, with all like action scenes.
That is lovely.
Yeah.
I do love the original. I mean, I'm nothing against the reworking of the unit theme in the more electronic thing, but the first version is so beautifully done.
Mind of Evil is in colour. Well, the couple of clips that are. Although Pertwee's jacket is giving it some trouble, isn't it? It's like all his shoulders all purple. And sort of talking about how you couldn't throw Nick Courtney with lines.
No.
And then you got a clip from Claws of Axos, and he's going, "Oh, that line."
Yeah. It's lovely though, because he's you could tell he was a real professional, and he's terribly polite as well. Whereas most people could be a little bit tetchy, not mentioning any names, but
don't think about my eye line.
Yeah. Nick Courtney's always a gentleman.
Yeah. But Liz talks about how solid the Brig is.
Yes.
And there's Sylvester wandering about a set with a load of flashing lights, which should have had an epilepsy warning.
It should have, but they didn't really do that then. Is that Tooley Street? Tooley Street?
No, I don't know. It doesn't ring any bells.
I noticed later on there's a board behind Sophie and it's got sort of times and charges on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So.
Doesn't ring any bells. I did go there, but he's calling out Sophie. Sophie!
He's got absolutely mad hair as well, isn't he? It's slightly out of control.
But Liz says about how she's the audience, and then she goes and sits on the sofa with the kid.
Yeah.
Sylvester's hanging from some sort of punch bag at one point, isn't he?
Yes.
Oh, Fifi from Happiness Patrol! It's like Fifi, sort of goes past with her feet going at the wrong speed.
I'm sorry about the accent.
Yeah. What accent? I didn't do one.
You did an accent for Sylvester.
Oh, right, okay. Liz is thinking about all the things that happened to Sarah, like hypnotised and tortured.
Sorry, Rosie's now playing with her ball.
Yeah. And then Ken Livingstone's behind the sofa. Red Ken.
Ken.
With his copy of TV 21 in his hand, saying about companions. And Terence Dix says, you couldn't completely deny that the Doctor is sometimes sexist or patronising. And Barry Lett says about Liz being sort of slightly too clever because she didn't need to explain. Liz Short, And this is apparently no better or no worse than James Bond and the Bikinied Lovelies, according to Larry Turner. Then you get a sort of montage of companions, backed by Who's Who by Roberta Tovey. La, 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 la. Do 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 do. Rose is looking at me, and I love in the fact that in all these shots of companions in skimpy outfits, you've got Fraser in his kilt.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining that Fraser being described as a bikinied lovely.
You'd like that.
Yeah. But Hinch is then talking about. Sorry, Philip Hinchcliffe is then talking about how Leela was a role model for girls. Well, that was his excuse. Larry Turner talks a lot about chamois leather. But Hinch wants it to be a family viewing event with lots of jeopardy and excitement. Eric Saywood talks about violence, and if you are violent, you should show it hurts.
Yeah.
And you've got David Coleman on Talkback saying is Doctor Who too frightening for the adults. J&T talks about Mary Whitehouse and hopes that she watched it and thought it was too violent.
Yeah, because they got extra viewing figures.
You got extra viewing figures. Mary Whitehouse remembers Doctor Who drowning for a whole week, and she's got a bit of a sort of sniffle, apparently. She's like Cuddles the monkey, isn't it? You know, don't sniff. More flashing lights with Sylvester, and then cliffhanger with a haemovore.
Well, he meets Sophie, doesn't he?
Yeah, he meets Sophie, and there's a cliffhanger. He gets a load of dry ice up his arse at one point. Yeah. More Prime Computer adverts. Weirdly, Tom's in his season 18 costume, and Lala Ward's dressed for Destiny of the Daleks.
Yes.
So when's this supposed to have taken place? But yeah, part 3, laughter and tears behind the scenes. Cracker Jack!
Cracker Jack!
And I have to say, Peter Glaze's head does work in the title sequence.
It does. It fits.
Doesn't it?
It fits it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not sure about Don McLean with his big teeth.
His teeth.
But yeah. And Michael Aspel and who's the woman?
I have no idea.
Some woman.
Joan Hunt?
Don't know, maybe. I don't know. Cursor Fenric. They sort of remember being on Cursor Fenric with the haemovore.
Well, Sophie does.
Sophie remembers.
Sylvester's
not got a clue.
No.
Was it haemovore, she-woman, me-doctor, how?
Yeah.
Don't know what the hell that was about. Douglas Adams comes on, also appearing in the Hitchhiker's documentary at this point.
Yes.
Talking about humour in Doctor Who, and you know, he sort of is one of these occasions when he gets the chance to explain that perhaps what you thought about Douglas Adams' approach isn't quite what he intended. Because he says about drama and humour should work together. The humour shouldn't undercut the drama.
But it frequently does.
Yeah, but that's not his fault, if you know, necessarily. Clips from the Cracker Jack sketch "Hello, My Dalek," which I have finally seen. And it just goes on a long time. And the K9, the Q6 Dalek sketch with the putty in the curry. Yeah, enough said about that. Matt Irvin's playing with K9 out by Tower Bridge, making him go up and down. Nationwide clip, Tom Baker's announced he's leaving. He's got his best pinstripe suit on.
He likes pinstripes. He wears a lot of pinstripes.
Though he doesn't look happy, does he?
He does not look happy at all, no.
Yeah.
I think he's decided to leave and is now regretting it.
Yeah.
Because he's done one of these flouncy things where he says, alright, I'll leave then. And they've gone, alright then.
Right. But yeah, Mike Gatting says about how he liked the fact that Davison liked cricket and he'd get his wife to tape the whole series for him.
If he was on tour.
Do you reckon his wife rolled his eyes at
Rolled his eyes?
Rubs her eyes at that a bit.
Possibly.
You want me to tape Doctor Who again? But yeah, the Davison era is covered in all of 2 minutes. We decided on a cricketing motif. Anyway, let's talk about Colin Baker.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's because Peter Davison had done the documentary, and he was a little bit out of favour.
No idea.
Or whether he just wasn't available.
I just guess he wasn't available. So you work with the material you've got, don't you? More St Paul stuff with Colin and Nicola. The Cybermen sort of go past them. Then a Cyberbat comes out of a sewer.
Yeah, it's rather sweet, that one.
And it sort of jumps up and sort of waves its tail. I think
it does this little stingy thing.
Is it trying to sting them?
Yeah.
Okay. Peter to Colin regeneration studio footage with Graham Harper. And various sort of AFMs, one of whom seems to be wearing Cybermen boots.
Possibly.
Did you notice he had big silver boots on? But yeah, you're looking at Graham with his jeans on.
Yeah.
You go scrabbling up. Ooh. I'd love to be directed by Graham.
I know, he's great. He always gives it his all.
But Terence Dix and Barry Letts are sort of trying to work out how much they had to do every day in the studio.
Well, how much they managed to get done.
Yeah, and they reckon it was about 20 minutes. So she's going like the clappers. Sylvester's got his best flat hat on, hasn't he?
He has, yes.
And he stood in front of a Doctor Who pinball machine.
Yes, and there's an Addams Family.
There's an Addams Family machine. Yes. That's it thing. Yeah. Lend a hand. I remember playing that.
You like Addams Family one.
Yeah.
Well, you played the Doctor Who one on the Isle of Wight as well.
Did I?
Yeah, I think you did.
Okay. But Sylvester's sort of reiterating what we saw in the previous documentary about how there was never enough time to do it properly. Didn't want more money. We wanted more time. He says, then you've got shots of the battlefield, the battlefield water tank sequence.
Yes.
With the big crack in the glass. Yes. And Sylvester says a 4-letter word. Get her out of there, get her. And you can hear somebody shouting, get the pump in, get the pump in.
Because the studio is about to be flooded with
water all over the electrics.
Yeah. Turn the power off, get the pump in.
Yeah.
But he did save her life, because it's weird, because they show the shot of with Sophie inside, and you do actually hear the crack of the glass.
Oh yeah, it's loud.
And she's got her hands on it, so
if that had gone,
if it had gone at that moment,
she'd have been sucked out.
Yeah.
Water, electric, glass.
Yes. Not a good mixture.
Not really.
No.
But some clips from Survival, and talk about how the show was cancelled. What was it?
Sylvester's the last to know, and then he tells Sophie Aldred.
But yeah, there are sort of videos, novels, comics, but will there ever be any more TV adventures? There's some young skinny guy sat on the Who-mobile. It was apparently sort of something to do with Doctor Who magazine. I didn't know, who was he?
It's Gary Russell.
No!
Don't you mean? Poor Gary, he does look very young now, bless him.
You're all young and small.
He is. Young, yes.
Oh, you're not going to say he's small?
I'm not going to come out any further than the fact they're saying he's young.
Then you get that lovely, lovely shot of the kid wandering along by the Thames and going into the TARDIS.
Yes.
And for what, even today, that's a very hard shot to achieve. It's very rarely done. I think it's done in The Snowmen, isn't it? And it's done in Day of the Doctor.
Yes. The camera follows the person going into the TARDIS.
But yeah, to pull that off on a sort of minuscule documentary budget, well done to everybody. Then you've got various mini sort of cliffhanger sort of endings at once, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got the brig being the Autons turn up and sort of shoot at the brig. He gets in a car and it drives off, and the driver's an Auton as well. You've got sort of Pertwee driving off in the Who-mobile. You've got Daleks in the TARDIS, and Liz suddenly gets glowy eyes, and there's a Sontaran or something. Yeah. Should point out that all the Dalek voices are Michael Wisher at this point. Yeah.
Yes,
So it's probably the last time he ever did Dalek voices.
It probably is. Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Apart from you've got the end credits with a load of outtakes in a little box.
Yeah.
And Pertwee singing, I cross the void beyond the mind, the empty space that circles time. I see wherever the stubble's blind. I am the Doctor. That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was fabulous.
That was fabulous. Doctor Who, to be continued, question mark. Cut to Alan Yentop.
Yes, how many takes did it take him to do that?
Yeah, this is staged as...
Yeah, it's staged. Will Doctor Who ever come back? He says, you may think that, I couldn't possibly comment. He couldn't get the quote right.
He couldn't get it right.
What is it?
Didn't he send somebody up to go and check it? Or so, what's the line? Is that right? I don't know. And then there's also footage in existence of him taking a phone call, saying, "Oh, who have you got in mind for the Doctor? Oh, yeah, he'd be good."
Yeah, and this is still quite a way off from the TV movie.
Yeah, there's been no announcement of the TV movie, but the wheels are in motion, shall we say? Yeah. But yeah, I love the way that Yentop sort of. It's not a proper question. He's actually acting it.
Yes.
So
badly.
Yeah. You may well believe that, but I couldn't possibly comment. Yeah. You know what Hollywood's like, and everybody's going, what? These things take a while, so there are no promises. Then Fraser and Debbie. Fraser's got his best Doctor Who 30 years jacket on. You could buy that.
You could buy that. Yes.
There was an advert.
I suspect he was probably giving him a copy.
There was an advert in Doctor Who Monthly.
It was quite a deal, wasn't it?
I didn't buy it.
Well, neither did I.
And they're on the set for the Emperor Dalek, haven't they? Which has just been reconstructed,
Yeah.
Was some of this set work done for a convention? I'm not sure.
Possibly, I don't know.
I think there was a panopticon, and I'm not sure whether the Emperor Dalek was or not, because I think it's because Chris Thompson was involved or something, wasn't he? Because he was designer on Evil of the Daleks.
All right.
Because Chris is the one that turns up on the Doctor Who Antiques Roadshow with his pages of Doctor Who and Tanny.
Oh, yeah.
So he was sort of around at the time. And then you get a goodbye from Tom at Blackpool exhibition footage. Bye bye. And that's it.
Yeah.
But it's a fantastic documentary, isn't it? I think it's probably the best
of the lot
of all the documentaries we've seen. just for being a celebration of Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the point that, I mean, Kevin's a fan, obviously,
Yes.
but you've got lots of fan advisors as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been a real effort to show stuff that's you've not seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Clips and outtakes and just rare bits and bobs, Nationwide and Pebble Mill and Blue Peter.
Mm-hmm.
All of which, at the time, it was like every few minutes there'd be another surprise whilst watching it. So I'm trying to remember what it was like to watch it for the first time.
Yes, very exciting.
Did you
I did see it.
see it at the time?
Yeah, it was very exciting.
Yeah, because it was a prime time sort of slot, wasn't it? Really, BBC One. Yeah, because they've been
ironic, really.
They've been also showing Planet of the Daleks.
They had,
hadn't they?
They had. That was very exciting as well.
Because that's probably, you said that was the first time you saw
I
Planet
saw it,
of the Daleks.
yeah.
So this was, the 25-year documentary, and the show was in production.
Mm-hmm. It's done by the Americans.
Yeah, it's done by an American thing, and the BBC do very little to celebrate the show itself. By the time the show's off the air, it's weird, isn't it? They think it's worth celebrating. It's very strange that they haven't made Doctor Who for 4 years, and suddenly they think it might be worth giving it a bit of publicity. So there's a very sort of strange sort of double think going on here. But, but yes, we are close to the TV movie. To things being sort of finally signed and sealed, aren't they?
Yes.
I mean, you forget how quick the turnaround for the TV movie actually was. Yeah. Paul McGann's outside Blackpool 1 week, and then
Longley.
Outside Longleat 1 week, and then he's filming the next virtually, isn't it?
Yeah.
But great little documentary, and I think well worth. Is it now? What's it available on?
It's on the. It's in a box set, and I can't remember what the box set's called.
Is it the Shada box set?
It's the original
Legacy
box set. That's it. Yeah.
So yeah.
That wasn't in the box; it was separate.
Oh, we'd take it out of the box, not put it back. But yeah, as a documentary, it's very, very rewatchable. I think some documentaries you don't want to see again for 5 years, but there's a lot of good stuff in this one.
There is.
So there we are.
Mm-hmm.
So happy 30th anniversary Doctor Who,
and happy 55th.
But also happy 55th.
Yes.
We'll see you again soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.